Okay, welcome everyone. I'm happy to welcome you to our recognition ceremony for the 2025 Schools of Character. Um, the We would love to have been in person down at Ryder, but that wasn't possible this year. But that uh, in no
Hey,
way does that diminish the honor or the
hmm,
celebration of the schools
very
that
cool.
have worked
Yep.
toward
Thank
this,
you.
toward being
How was your trip?
recognized.
Good.
As and please, if you uh, if you know if your microphone is on, please uh, do me the favor of muting your mic unless there's some reason for you to talk. So I'd appreciate uh, I'd appreciate that. Um, again, the schools that we honor this morning have done a lot of hard work. Some of them to recertify, some of them new to the process to become state and national schools of character, as well as those schools that are on their character journey to become honorable mention schools or emerging schools. You know, the work of every one of those schools is significant, and it's very important that we honor them, and that's what we're doing this morning with this virtual ceremony. Uh, Before we do that, I would like to just to tell you a little bit about our plan for the conference that didn't happen. Uh, the theme for the conference was growing, um, was growing goodness with character, and we think that's really important, particularly at this time in our country. I think that's certainly something that's needed for everyone. Um, and part of that theme certainly it speaks to the fact that it harkens back to the idea of smart and good schools. That it's good to be smart, but it's also good to be good. And one of the things that we're going to bring to you in a moment is a quote unquote TED talk by somebody who's been associated with our organization really pretty much since the start of it. But before I do that, what I want to do is just to direct you to the screen that you can see now. There's some links on here that are important. There's a recognition booklet that we make available to the schools. It's a PDF version. You can use the QR code, or you can use the link. There's also a link to join NJASECD if you'd like to volunteer with us. There's a listing for our website. There's also a listing for our email if you want to get in touch with us. There's the network flyer that is also linked here, and we're going to talk about that at the end today. And so, this particular slide, you can refer back to this. We will make this available to you, this information available to you after the meeting. It will also be, this meeting is being recorded, so it will also be available on our website. So all of this information is there if you'd like to show it to more people in your schools. We hope that you will. We hope that you will enjoy the celebration because you've certainly worked hard to get there. And again, character is a journey. And when we say that, we believe that it's a continuous journey. And one of the things we're going to talk about today, later on, is the importance of continuing the journey. Becoming a school of character is not a final destination. It's a road. It's a milepost in the roadmap in this journey, and all of us that are actively involved in NJASECD um, didn't stop at becoming schools of character. We kept at the work. And keeping at the work is really important. And it's one of the reasons why New Jersey has been so successful. Um, once again, we're one of the top states. We are the top state, frankly, in terms of state and national schools of character. When you look at public schools, there are some states that where they have charter schools and charter school networks that are requiring all of their schools to be involved. Uh, we are pleased to say that all of the schools in New Jersey that are honored today do so not as part of a network, but because they, as schools, believe that the work is important, as do we. So we're going to talk about that throughout today. So it's really important that the celebration is significant. It's a significant milepost, but it is not the end in itself. And I think the person that I'm going to introduce now is a perfect example. Tom Santo, who's going to do our quote unquote TED talk this morning. Tom uh, was one. His school was one of the first New Jersey state schools of character, and the New Jersey state schools of character were the first schools of character in the nation. So Tom brought his school to that recognition. I believe 2005, correct, Tom? Am I right about that? 2005.
2006, I think it was.
2005, we applied.
Yeah.
My school was one of those four schools too, and 2006 was the year that happened, that it was honored. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Tom, and then you're going to get to hear him. Um, Tom's a dedicated educator. He's a mentor with over 40 years of teaching experience. He's spent 20 years as a special educator and 21 more years as an elementary principal. As I said, his schools, a North, was a national school of character more than once, correct, Tom?
Yeah.
Recertified.
Yes.
He's also done a lot of other stuff around the world, and I'm not going to preempt what he's going to say to you because he's going to talk a little bit about that. But he's the perfect person, in my opinion, having known Tom for since 2005, 2006, um, to talk about goodness, because his work in education exudes goodness. And that's why we chose Tom, and we hope you're going to enjoy what Tom has to share this morning. So it's my pleasure to turn the mic over to Tom and his talk about growing goodness through character education. Tom, you're on.
I wasn't exactly Mr. Baseball, but somewhere in the middle of my teaching career, I found myself saying yes to coaching the boys softball team. We were an overlooked group. No one expected much from us, not the other teams, not the league, not even some of the boys themselves. But then something happened. What they lacked in experience, they made up for in heart. And heart, when fueled by belief, can change everything. They practiced hard, they encouraged each other, and they began to believe that they could win. Each game, they didn't just show up to play, they showed up to prove they belong to themselves, to each other, to the league, and against all odds, they began to win. And that season, the underestimated team, well, they made school history, clinching the school's first ever boys softball league championship. The reason I share the story with you is a few weeks ago, I received a Facebook message from one of the players. He posted a letter I had written to the team at the end of that unforgettable season. He wrote this: if you're a teacher, mentor, or coach, and you ever doubt the power of your words, let this be a reminder. I've carried this letter for 31 years, and it still inspires me today. Tears started to come to my eyes as I read what I wrote. Don't worry about small beginnings. The great oak began as an acorn. The penny is the beginning of a dollar. The rainbow began with a single drop of rain and a ray of light. Everything in life begins small. As I scrolled through the comments, waves of emotion swept over me as I read what former students said. You never gave up on me. You always said hello. You remembered our names. You were more than a teacher. Then I realized what I had written mattered more than I ever knew. John Maxwell once said, a word of encouragement from a teacher to a child can change a life. And that's why you're here today, because you have chosen to use your words wisely. Your smallest words, well done, I believe in you, you can try again, are the seeds of the greatest change. Yes, you are change agents. You're planting seeds in season and out of season, speaking life, speaking hope, speaking strength. Your core values aren't superficial. They're deeply rooted in your moral foundation, woven in the very fabric of who you are. They serve as your inner compass, quietly guiding your choices. anchoring your actions and steadying your responses. In your world, gentleness is not weakness. Patience carries power, and goodness strengthens community. Through the fruits of your labor may not always be visible, your roots run deep. You show up when it's hard. You listen when others rush. You believe when belief is hard to come by. In a world that often celebrates the loudest voice, you've chosen a different way. As Rumi reminds us, raise your words, not your voice. It's the rain that grows flower, not thunder. Your words build. They don't break. They lift. They heal. They matter. Let us not forget, words alone are not enough. Words without actions are like seeds never watered. They hold potential, yes, but they only take root when they're nourished. That's where your actions come in. You haven't just spoken truth, you lived it. You haven't only inspired, you acted. You've embodied the very words you speak, and that's where the true power lies, when word and deed walk hand in hand. Now, I learned how actions empower words in a very unexpected place, living for a year with the Canaan Franciscan brothers in Germany. Their way of life, simple, quiet, full of grace. We shared meals, prayed in silence, worked with our hands, but their presence spoke. No big show, no applause, just quiet acts of service, tending gardens, helping elders, sweeping floors. There I learned something profound. Real service doesn't require a stage, and real character, it shows up when no one's watching. Mother Teresa said it best. Not all of us can do great things, but we all can do small things with great love. And here's the truth. The world didn't listen to her because she gave eloquent speeches. The world listened because she first served tirelessly, humbly, faithfully. She touched the untouchables. She sat with the dying. She lifted the forgotten. Her words had weight because her life had witness. Her authentic, humble presence gave her words power. Her actions gave her message credibility. Honorees, your presence here today is not just symbolic, it's a testament of how you lead your school, serving tirelessly, humbly, faithfully. Your actions are companions to your words and are the most powerful translations of what you're saying. They give your words staying power, echoing beyond the moment, reaching hearts in ways that language alone could do that. In doing so, your message is clear. When wise words are chosen and lived out in love, they don't just teach, they transform. As character educators, you understand this deeply. When words and actions are planted in the fertile soil of hearts and minds, they take root, like tiny seeds pushing through the earth. But seeds alone are not enough. They must be nurtured and sustained over time to grow into strong, lasting trees. We know that research shows that consistent positive reinforcement combined with nurturing relationship has a profound impact on a child's social and emotional development, increasing resilience, building empathy, and improving academic success. Sustained character doesn't grow from a single moment. It is in the fruit of consistent presence, hard work, heart work. You believe in growth even before it shows, knowing that what you plant today with your words, your actions, your presence is part of a living legacy that will flourish long after this ceremony. This belief in unseen growth is what carried me through my 20 years as a special education teacher. Each day, my role was to empower my students to believe in themselves, to uncover their God given talents, and to know deeply that they are genuinely loved and accepted, not for who they might become someday, but for who they are today. Like you, I didn't teach so my students would remember me. I taught so they would remember themselves as capable, as worthy, as good. And my calling extended beyond the walls of my classroom. For many summers, I committed my time and my resources to serve in communities around the world. Different languages, different landscapes, but always the same seed, goodness rooted in presence. Across 5 continents, what I discovered was not so much how different we are, but how deeply connected we remain. A shared human longing transcends all borders, cultures, and languages. Every child, every person yearns to be genuinely seen and deeply understood. They seek more than recognition for their names, for their grades, or their accomplishments. They long for validation of their inner world, their emotions, their stories, and their silent struggles. It's a universal need for compassion, for kindness, and for the kind of goodness that says, you matter, you are enough. This deep human need to be seen and understood is at the very heart of what you do as character educators and leaders. In your schools, in your classrooms, and in your communities, you have the extraordinary opportunity to meet this longing, to create safe spaces where every child feels valued, not only for their achievements, but simply for who they are. Where kindness and compassion and not occasional acts, but the foundation of learning, growth, and community. And as the seasons of my journey shifted, so did my role from teacher in the classroom to leader in a schoolhouse, where I once attended as a child. I always believe leadership isn't about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. That belief became my compass when I stepped into the role of principal. My purpose didn't change, it expanded. My role was no longer just to teach, but to shepherd, to guide, to nurture, and to support both students, the staff, the community in their growth. Leadership to me meant something standing in the gap, lifting others up, removing barriers, and making sure that every person felt seen, heard, and safe. Because schools don't thrive on structure alone, they thrive on relationships. They flourish when leaders act as caregivers of culture, protecting it, shaping it, and growing it with intention. This is the heart of character-driven leadership. It's not about commanding excellence, it's about cultivating it. And then, after 4 decades of teaching, learning, and leading, another season came. Some call it retirement, but I prefer a different word, rewirement, because I didn't step away from my purpose, I stepped into it in a new way. Purpose doesn't retire. Calling doesn't expire. I pass the torch to Generation X, the millennials, and Generation Z. The responsibility and opportunity is now yours to carry forward what matters most, the power of presence, to lead not with authority, but with authenticity, not with position, but with presence. Your presence is power to model the very virtues we hope to awaken in students and staff: kindness, responsibility, resilience, respect, and goodness. You're not just teaching kindness, you are kind. You're not just explaining responsibility, you embody it. You just don't define respect, you demonstrate it. You are the resilient keepers of the flame now. And in your quiet acts of courage, you remind the world what goodness looks like. The care you extend will shape destinies. And my destiny, well, it has not come to an end. I opened an email one day and was surprised to read this note. Tom, I heard you're retired. Would you be willing to help mentor principals in Southeast Asia? From that simple message, Heal a Scorn was born. For the past 4 years, I have the privilege of volunteering with schools across Southeast Asia, connecting across oceans through Zoom calls, mentoring principals and educators in undeserved communities, and walking alongside them with limited resources. Recruiting a volunteer force, I do my best to provide professional development for the teachers and address capital improvements, from leaky bamboo roofs to upgrading water wells, supporting summer school program, and much more. My mission is clear, and I know it resonates deeply with all of you here: to empower students and educators by providing the tools, training, and support needed to nurture character and create inclusive, compassionate learning environments. The heart behind Heal a School is simple: not to be a hero, but to be a healer, like you. And then a new door opened completely separate from Heal a School, Tefel, Kuwait, in the Middle East and North Africa region. I was invited to serve as chair of a special education special interest group. In this role, I collaborate with educators from around the world, bringing communities through research, peer-to-peer knowledge exchange, and shared stories of challenge and hope. Together, we advocate for every child's worth, support teachers working with the most vulnerable learners, and elevate the global conversation around neurodivergent strengths and needs. And through this experience, I've come to see what many of you already know, that cultural competencies, global connections, and shared humanity matter more than ever. In today's world, being an educator means being a bridge between cultures, between abilities, and between hearts. As my journey has expanded beyond classrooms and school, it has also brought me face to face with the power of connection across differences, whether cultural, religious, or social. This conviction led me to engage in interfaith dialogue locally in Cherry Hill and nationally with leaders across the country. Just a few weeks ago, I had the privilege of attending the One America movement in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a deeply inspiring experience for me. People from diverse faith traditions, educational institutions, businesses, nonprofit organizations came together to engage in honest, respectful, civil dialogue. At a time when toxic polarization and bias, stereotype, and often dominate public discourse, this gathering offered a refreshing and hopeful alternative. What united us was a shared commitment to mutual respect, deep listening, and bridge building. These conversations weren't always easy, but they were filled with grace. As Martin Luther King said, people fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other, and they don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. Character educators, you are uniquely positioned to model what it means to listen with empathy, to lead with humility, and to offer grace. With you, every classroom, hallway, and community gathering space can become a place where bridges are built and biases are greatly dismantled. You have been summoned not just to teach, but to transform, not only to lead, but to lift, not solely to succeed, but to serve. The world is aching for educators who lead with love, for mentors who deliver curriculum, but also cultivate character. Be the steady hand that guides when the path is uncertain. Be the voice that encourages when hope feels distance. Be the heart that listens when silence speaks volumes. Today, you are recognized for the excellence of your programs, but know this: character work isn't a destination, it's a calling, a daily choice to show up with courage, humility, and hope. Character educators, be rooted in your presence, not position. Let your schools be places where students are seen, not sorted. Let your legacy be written not in test scores, but in the lives you shape. Your destiny is not just in the classroom, it's in every conversation, every act of kindness, every moment you choose character over convenience and goodness over greatness. As Parker Palmer reminds us, the heart of education is the education of the heart. I stand with you in this quiet revolution, transforming lives, healing communities, and lighting the way toward a better tomorrow. Let me close with the words of Fred Rogers, who said, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.' Today, you are those helpers, the healers, the hope givers, the heart-guided leaders. To each of you, as you prepare to receive your awards, carry this charge with you. Bridge a divide in your school, in your community. Foster deeper human connections because an
Apologies, Tom. Somehow you became muted. Can you unmute yourself, please?
let's see, does that work?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, I guess the last part was, because in a divided world, the most courageous acts of leadership is not to build a taller wall, but to build a longer table. So now, let's not forget, tables are where stories are shared, where laughter echoes, and where new friendships are born. And since we're all about character education, why not end with a little character celebration? Because if we want others to join us at the table, we better make sure there's some joy in the room. So here it is, my heart, my hope, and yes, my rap for all of you helpers, healers, and hope givers. Let's have some fun at the table. It's time to celebrate SEL, social, emotional, learn it well. Be self-aware, be emotionally smart. Relationally, take your part. Decision-making, show you care. Socially, be aware. Manage yourself and your stress. Intrinsically, you know what's best. Facebook, TikTok, media choice. Snapchat, X, another voice. Instagram, talks for you. Most important, you be you. Online chatting, endless text. No need for you to be perplexed. Clear your thoughts. Action cease. Hush, be still. Silence, peace. Be still and stop. Reverse, reflect. It's time we all have respect. Respect for all and not for some, the elderly and the young. Respect each one, guaranteed. Any age, race, or creed. Respect your body more than wealth, vigor, fitness, strength, and health. Respect the earth. Go green, pets and plants, a joy serene. Take some time to spot a need, not gain for self. That's greed. Give a gift, grant in part. Help someone from your heart. Touch a life, revive, renew. Moments count, it's up to you. Cooperate, join in, agree. A drop of rain makes a sea. Empathize how others feel. Take the time to help them heal. Be aware, mindful, wise. See life in others through their eyes. Take perspective, context, view. We're more alike, the same is true. Face the facts. Let's agree. There's a disconnect in humanity. All alone, yet we tweet. Walk in silence on the street. We yearn to talk and move ahead, yet chaos reigns in our head. Anxiety, stress now interferes. Mental health, fears and tears. Take it easy. Take a break. What's a hurry? You won't be late. Relax, be still, stay calm, be cool. Strengthen your strengths and strong. Each one's a draw. Select your choices one by one. Problem solve until they're done. The time is now. Take the lead. Take your place, you will succeed. Create a plan, set a goal, be confident you're in control. Listen, think and listen before you act. When you speak, have some tact. You know just what to do. Do it well because you are you. Be brave, be bold, be strong. We need you now. You belong. Be self-aware, be emotionally smart. Relationally, take your part. Decision making, show you care. Socially, be aware. Manage yourself. Impulse, stress, intrinsically, you know what's best. It's time to celebrate SEL. Social, emotional, learn it well. Be self-aware, be emotionally smart. Relationally, take your part. Decision making, show you care. Socially, be aware. Manage yourself. Impulse, stress, intrinsically, you know what's best. Be brave, be firm, be bold, be strong. We need you now. You belong. You know just what to do. So do it well because you are you.
Yay! For my camera, honey, camera.
Well, Tom, that was an outstanding job. What a great message. And again, this is going to be available on a recording. I know I'm going to listen to it again because the wisdom that and the inspiration that was imparted by you in the last 20 minutes was just so valuable. And I hope everybody else feels the same way. So for all of us here today, for NJASECD as an organization, thank you so much for helping us this morning celebrate our new 2025 Schools of Character. But not only celebrate, but to charge them, with a mission for the future, which I think is really important. And you talk about a life of purpose. I think, that is something that's important to all of us. So thank you once again for a very inspiring speech this morning. We really appreciate it. And again, it couldn't have been better. So thank you very much. Okay, moving along. I just want to recognize some folks that make all of this stuff happen. You see on your screen right now a listing of the people who have really taken a leadership role in NJASECD. I'm not going to read everybody's name to you because you certainly are able to do that yourself. The executive board, the trustees, our schools of character coordinators, which you're going to meet in a few minutes, and the people who worked to plan the conference, even though it didn't happen. That planning was certainly a lot of work. So, these are the folks that have really been, and again, I apologize if someone's been left off the list. This was the best list we could come up with. for the moment. If you'd like to be on this list, we certainly we're always looking for committed volunteers. And so if you'd like to volunteer, we'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about outreach. But certainly thanks to all those folks because you make it happen. And it's really appreciated. We have honored guests today. They're going to play a role in today's ceremony for the most part. I always put Phil Brown at the beginning of this because not only is he the past president, he's also the founder of NJASECD. And even though he now lives in Colorado, his constant presence and leadership and wisdom is so important to us. So, Phil, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. Lori Soifer will be joining us a little bit later. She's got another commitment, but she will be here hopefully in time to announce the National Schools of Character. Lori is the director of the Schools of Character program for character.org. Kelly Allen is here, as well as Jill Couple. They represent the New Jersey Department of Education. Kelly is going to help us with the recognition of some schools. Steve Beatty, who's the vice president of NJEA, has been a constant source of inspiration to us. He is a tremendous advocate for this work, and we really appreciate his being with us today to help us celebrate. Karen Bingert is the executive director of the New Jersey PSA. Again, one of our great partners. I'm going to talk about her in a minute. And another source of inspiration to us is a life member of our organization, Dr. Maurice Elias from Rutgers University, an internationally acclaimed thought leader in all of this work, who probably the hallmark of his work is making the connection between social emotional learning and character development, hence the name of our organization, the New Jersey Alliance for Social, Emotional, and Character Development. So making that connection is really important, and that's certainly comes from Maurice. So thank you all for being with us today, and we do appreciate that. As I said, we do have a number of partners, and you've just met some of them, but probably our most influential partner at this point in our existence is New Jersey PSA. It started with Pat Wright, who is also here today. Should have recognized Pat, but Pat, when a few years ago, we were in financial straits because EIRC closed down, and so we were really in a dilemma in terms of the continued existence of our organization. Our executive board had a meeting, and we said, okay, well, we're not ready to give up quite yet. And so what happened was that when EIRC closed down, they took our treasury with them. We had no money, $0, zero. We depended at that point on a donation from NJEA, thanks to Steve and his cohorts. So we said, how are we going to make this work on that kind of money? So what I did was I said, well, I mean, what's our logical next step? And that was Pat Wright. So I called Pat and I said, Pat, explain the situation. Would NJPSA FEA be willing to partner with us to help us now with our conference since EIRC is gone? It took about a nanosecond for Pat to say yes. And I am forever grateful to you, Pat, for that moment, because we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for that. And I have to say that continuing on with that tradition, when Karen took over as executive director of NJPSA, nothing changed. The support was just as strong. And both Karen and Pat are now intrinsically involved in our organization. And I am so thankful to both of you. And Karen has been such a great partner in the last few years since she's took over as executive director. It's totally fitting and proper for her to share some remarks with you this morning. So I'd like to invite Karen to say a few words from the perspective of the principals and supervisors of New Jersey and the importance of this work to them. So Karen. You're
Thank you,
on.
Bill. Thank you so much. And when Pat Wright brought me along into NJASECD, I knew her passion for this, and having the opportunity to continue that and continue the strong relationship between these two organizations was incredibly important to me and remains that way. So we are honored to be in partnership with this group on such incredibly important work. Excuse me. The New Jersey Principals and Supervisors Association, as Bill mentioned, is a statewide association that supports principals, vice principals, assistants, principals, supervisors, and directors in many of our public schools. And with, just under 10,000 members from aspiring to retiring, we have our fingers in a lot of schools, and the things that we're able to do to support the leaders of the schools have a direct implication on what they're able to do to support their students. So character is certainly an incredibly important part of that. Social emotional development is an incredibly important part of that, because I think we all know that academics will always take a back seat to what really needs to occur in taking care of the children with whom we are all charged. If a student is not mentally well, physically well, feeling a sense of belonging, feeling a sense of value, academics take such a far back seat that it really becomes so secondary to everything else that's on their list for consideration. So, whatever we're able to do to support their efforts is critically important. Excuse me. And when I think about character, basically it comes down to each person. And as I think about what it means to look at how you connect with other people and how your character and your social emotional development connect with that, what I think comes to mind for me is a consideration of helping both our educators, our leaders, and especially our students understand that they need to know who the people are in their life. Who is their person? Who is the person that they can go to who will support them and help them become the best version of themselves? But that also leads to the question for each person is, whose person are you, right? Who can come to a classmate and ask for help or be given some constructive guidance? And that then parlays into, whose person can you be? There are people in our classrooms who may not feel connected at all to someone else. And if we can help each student understand that it's incumbent upon them to open their arms and welcome people in and to create space for people, that the impact of that is a ripple effect that has literally no end. Because the more inclusive we are, the more welcoming we are, the stronger we demonstrate the character of acceptance and tolerance, and creating those spaces where students can stretch their wings and be bravely themselves. I think that's so incredibly important. Um, it helps every time you interact with another person, every time you are supportive of that person, it teaches you something about yourself as well. And it helps you figure out who you are in this world. And that's why social emotional development and character development are so incredibly important, because it really, in the end, is all about knowing yourself and knowing how you can fit into this much grander society that we have. And, first, kudos to Tom for not only his TEDx presentation, certainly his rap at the end. I'm still catching my breath from him getting through that. But within that was the clear understanding that you belong. And when students don't feel that they belong, or they don't feel that they're playing a part in helping other people belong, if they are mired down by the distractions and the negativity of social media and so many ways that people can just poke at each other, and not have a grounded way to connect with themselves and with the other humans around them, that's where we wind up losing our humanity. And social emotional development and character development is really just about strengthening humanity. And our schools do so much about helping kids become themselves and the best version of themselves that they can. And it's not just about academics and about grades, but it is really about strengthening humanity. And those are all of the interpersonal, all of the interpersonal interactions that occur at every turn in a school building. Bumping into somebody in the hallway and how you respond, asking for assistance, and do you do it or do you just hide? But we need to strengthen humanity, and that's why groups like NJAS ECD are so critically important. That's why those of you who have embraced the idea of being a school of character, it's so critically important, because truly what our public schools do is create the pathway to successful human adults. And we are all human, and we all need to be our best version of ourselves, and we all need to help each other do the same thing. It's incumbent upon us not just to be successful, but to reach a hand out to help the next person be successful. And that's why I think NJAS ECD is so important. That's why NJPSA is always so honored to be a partner with you, and we'll continue to do what we can to support this work, because it's incredibly important. And it's, I know, something that we all value. And when you're in a school with a lot of people moving around in lots of different directions with lots of different goals, all at the same time, the best way we can do to help everyone move forward together is to do it in a way that values every single one of us. And so I applaud all of the schools who have come to this point, who have put together incredible plans and are doing incredible work to create the environments where, frankly, we would all want to attend as students, where we would all want to work as educators, and from the principals and supervisors perspective, where our leadership is simply helping everyone be contributors to a stronger, healthier, stable, balanced, and loving humanity. I want to offer my congratulations to the honorable mention schools, the emerging schools who are making so much progress in their journey to becoming schools of character, and certainly to those schools of character who from whom we will all learn a great deal today. I'm very excited for all of you. I'm proud of all of the work that you do. And again, Bill, NJPSA is honored to be in partnership with NJASCD. So congratulations to everyone, and thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for those inspiring words. I think that the message today is clear, and I think that again, I think the schools that we're going to talk about in just a few minutes exemplify, everything that Tom has said, and that everything that Karen has said, and I know that you will all lead in our society, which needs some leadership right now in terms of this area. So we do, certainly look forward to celebrating your success. And with that in mind, I'm going to turn the program over to Mary Reinhold and Lori Coletti. Mary and Lori are the co-coordinators for the Schools of Character program in New Jersey. And, I have to give my congratulations and thanks to them for their leadership in this program, because without them, this wouldn't happen either. So again, I invite you to listen to what Mary and Lori have to say, and then we'll get right down to naming the schools. So take it over, Mary and Lori. It's your turn.
Thank you, Bill. Good morning. My name is Laurie Coletti, and along with Mary Reinhold, we are the co-coordinators for Schools of Character for NJASECD. We'd like to welcome you to the character to the two I'm sorry to the 2025 New Jersey Association for Social, Emotional, and Character Development Schools of Character ceremony. We would also like to thank Tom for an inspiring TED Talk. As the state coordinators, Mary and I have worked hard to organize applications, coordinate reviewer teams, create certifications, and prepare for today's ceremony. The evaluations of our 33 applications were completed by teams from previous National Schools of Character. In addition, many of our reviewers served as site visitors, validating the National Schools of Character. We would like to recognize and thank all state and national reviewers. They are listed in the recognition booklet, which was published by Bill Trusheim, our NJASECD president. The link is it's on our PowerPoint. Our results are outstanding. New Jersey continues to steer the nation with our 2025 schools and districts of character. We congratulate you on your outstanding character initiatives and encourage you to become more involved with outreach in New Jersey and across the nation. Character education can and will have a global impact, and we believe it starts with all of us. Mary?
Thank you, Lori. And I too would like to thank Tom. That was a very inspirational speech, and I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you. This year, it's our pleasure to recognize 6 emerging schools of character, 5 honorable mention schools of character, 19 New Jersey state schools of character, and 3 New Jersey districts of character. Being named a school of character means each school has dedicated itself to support social, emotional learning, identify core values, use a comprehensive, intentional, proactive approach to developing character, create a caring community, focus on moral action and service learning, engage families, partner with the community, enrich culture and climate, and embed character values throughout the curriculum. Over the years, New Jersey's schools of character have grown in number and cover the entire state, which means our New Jersey students reap the benefits of the paradigm shift to having solid core values guide every aspect of school life. These schools demonstrate an understanding of expectations for academic integrity, sportsmanship, and ethical learning. Student-driven service learning abounds across our state. New Jersey parents feel welcome in their child's school and are partners with a voice in developing the kind of school their child attends. Kudos to the many New Jersey school teachers and staffs who are embracing this change. The parents who work so hard to seek an enhanced environment for their children. The communities who are welcoming our children, and most of all, our children who are happy to come to a safe, caring school to learn.
New Jersey led the way with the inception of the State Schools of Character program in 2006. From this auspicious beginning, the New Jersey Education Association has consistently supported the work we do for social, emotional, and character development. Emerging schools have made a significant beginning on their journey to becoming schools of character and have already exhibited many worthwhile practices. These schools are recognized for taking positive steps on the character education journey. It is a pleasure to introduce Steve Beatty.
Tell me how. Tell me what to do.
Please mute yourselves while we're presenting. Thank you. It is a pleasure to introduce Steve Beatty, Vice President of the New Jersey Education Association, who will recognize the emerging schools of character. Steve?
Great. Thank you, Lori, and thank you, Mary, and everyone here for the inspirational words before me. Tom, wonderful. I think you should give us the words to that rap. We can repeat that at some point. And of course, my friend Karen and Bill, all the years working together really has been a blessed service for what we do. So thank you all. And of course, congratulations to all my colleagues, my friends out in the field, teachers, educators, everywhere on the work that we're here to celebrate today. So as you mentioned, my name is Steve Beatty. I'm a proud history teacher in Bridgewater-Raritan Regional School District, and I have the honor of serving as the Vice President and now President-elect of the state's most powerful union, the NJEA. And it's our almost 200,000 members all understand what our mission is. And that's why we're #1 in the nation again. We could celebrate the fact, again, New Jersey schools, looking around the screen, seeing so many good friends from different ends of my career. I see Mr. Clark on here. Hi, Mr. Clark was there when I was student teaching in my department at North Brunswick Township in 1992. So it goes way back. And schools I visit. I see you, Elizabeth, School 28, right? We've been out there because that's where the work is. And all the members for decades and decades and decades care deeply, deeply about the success of all of our public schools. And success isn't just about measuring things, right? We're #1. Surely we look at test scores and various metrics. But I always argue we're #1 because of our undying empathy and our compassion and love that we have for our kids and embracing them. The whole child. That's what really matters in success. And that's why it's such a wonder to be here with all of you who have embraced that and pushed that so far forward to reaching our kids. And I'm here to be a representative of the group and do anything I can. I just tell my own story. You know, my first job after graduating was in Westfield in an alternative school within the high school. And I was barely 23 years old. And I thought, Westfield, this is an affluent community. Why is there alternative school? And I learned very quickly, doesn't make a difference, right? Regardless of your zip code, issues and problems that kids deal with are the same kind of things. And I learned I couldn't put on air or just to be myself. And to what the point you're making here, creating conditions where students feel safe, where my kids felt safe, that I wasn't talking about curriculum and the war of this or who did whatever legislation. Let's get to know each other. Let's create cooperative teams and come up with our own class rules and norms and then live them together, where kids felt safe enough to come out from whatever was going on, embrace the work, and then we move forward, both emotionally and academically. It's no secret. It's no secret. Being our authentic self, reaching out to kids where they are, and understand that we are there for them. So we know that today it's difficult. One of my daughters is now a senior officially in a teacher ed program at Montclair State. So excited she's gonna be a teacher. And my younger one in high school, and navigating that world is difficult. We all know that. So that we're here today, it's so complex, but kids are resilient. And that's why we create environments where we give them the skills and help them hone those skills. So the 2025 Emerging Schools of Character are well on their way to thoroughly implementing these fruitful environments. I can't wait to see what the future holds for all of them. And as you know, they follow the 11 principle framework, and that implemented, our children can become independent, self-sufficient, perhaps all most important thing, resilient to what's going on. You know, I know as a lifelong educator, I've put emphasis on character development. I always took time in my classes every year to get to know the kids, to make sure that they understood that they were safe in that environment and that whatever was going on, we could work through it together and that they were valued for whatever it was. And that's where they develop a sense of agency, tangible ways they can contribute, that they can say, you know what, I am safe. I can come out and do these things. So I applaud all of these schools that are being recognized today for their ongoing improvements they made in transforming their schools into places of character. It really, we celebrate that work and recognize these schools for the progress they've made, changes happening within them that put them on their students, the number one priority, on the path to success. So I'm going to call the 6 schools that are being honored today for making exemplary progress toward becoming schools of character. And without further ado, first school, Academy Street Elementary School in Dover. And we have Crescent Elementary School in Waldwick. Then we have Catherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughn, Mary Jackson, STEM Academy in Elizabeth. Thomas Edison Energy Smart Charter School in Somerset. And Wilson Elementary School in Hamilton. Let's give everybody a round of applause. So richly deserved for the work they committed to do and coming back. So literally in closing, my friend Karen mentioned the phrase strengthening humanity. Wow, no pressure, right? Strengthening humanity. But that is our charge. That's what we do every day. Every student that we prop up, every student that we meet where they are is one more way that we strengthen humanity. I know my time, and it was said at a board meeting a couple of months ago I attended here in my home district where I live and teach. We're talking about kids, and so the 5 most important words that a student can ever say to their teacher, right? It's that, hey, Mr. Beatty, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? Knowing that they're safe, that there's an environment you created where they feel safe coming to you to tell you something, right? And that's something that matters. That's why you're here, and that's why we do what we do. So on behalf of the NJEA and all of my union brothers and sisters from around the state, all our education stakeholders and everyone here, and congratulations to our awardees. Thank you all, and congratulations.
Thank you, Steve. We appreciate you being here, and we certainly enjoyed your.
We're some more than others.
Please mute yourself. And thank you so much. We certainly appreciated you being here to recognize our emerging schools of character.
Our honorable mention schools are well on their journey to becoming schools of character by demonstrating a host of effective character practices observing the 11 principles. These schools are recognized for using continued good practices on their character education journey. It is our honor to have a representative from the New Jersey Department of Education, Kelly Allen, with us today. Ms. Allen will be announcing the honorable mention schools of character. Kelly, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Allen from the New Jersey Department of Education, Office of Student Support Services. I did want to just say I'm so inspired by all the remarks already shared today and by the work done every day in schools to build communities where students and adults want to spend time, I think as Karen mentioned, and where each person feels like they belong. I'm honored to celebrate all of you, but especially want to share my congratulations to the schools receiving honorable mention recognition from the Schools of Character program. This recognition reflects the incredible commitment and effort each of these schools has made to build positive and supportive learning environments. All of us at today's event value the essential role that social and emotional learning and character education play in our schools. We know that these are not just initiatives, that they are foundational to student engagement, staff well-being, strong relationships, and academic success. I had the opportunity to learn a little bit about the meaningful work happening in each of the schools we're organizing today. Each one represents what it means to live out the principles of character education and social emotional learning with purpose and passion. Thank you all for your dedication to this important work. Now I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate our honorable mention recipients, beginning with Kindergarten Success Academy, Lawrence Township Public Schools, Mawa Township Public Schools, Triangle Elementary School, and finally, Jonas Salk Middle School. Congratulations again to all the honorable award recipients.
Kelly, thank you so much for being here and for recognizing our honorable mention schools. It was a pleasure to have you, so thank you.
Thank you for including me.
As co-coordinators, Lori and I will be announcing the 2025 New Jersey Schools of Character, and we're very honored to be able to do that. As I mentioned before, we have 19 schools and 3 districts. So without further ado, we'll get started, and I'm honored to start with the school from my town, Apshua School in West Milford, New Jersey. Apshua Elementary School, proud to be a part of the character-centered West Milford Township Public Schools, is known for its dynamic approach to implementing initiatives. Not content to rest on its laurels, as a 2018 National School of Character, Apshua has revitalized its Project Adventures full value commitment, introduced a new ELA program, Wonders, that integrates character education with social emotional learning, and added second step lessons and strategies to engage all learners. The staff and the PTA have forged a warm, collaborative relationship to build and rekindle the homeschool connection and community involvement. Congratulations to Apshua School in West Milford.
Camden County Technical Schools, Gloucester. The character journey of Camden County Technical Schools Gloucester Township campus has been a transformative experience which empowers both students and staff. Both voices are heard as they work together at the annual school planning committee and strategic planning meetings. This recertified high school also prepares its students for a higher mission in life. By the time students graduate, they not only possess career knowledge, technical skills, and workplace readiness, but also they are guided by a strong moral compass and the determination to effect positive change in their communities. Congratulations, Camden County Technical Schools, Gloucester Township campus.
Camden County Technical Schools, Pennsauken in Pennsauken, New Jersey. Camden County Technical Schools Pennsauken campus strongly believes in molding students who observe character in all aspects of life. To achieve this goal, Penn Tech, as it is commonly known, has implemented many replicable practices. Club advisors and coaches design plans and contracts to help students practice the values beyond the school walls. After-school tutors and chaperones join them in encouraging good character through guided conversations, activities, and disciplined procedures. Most clubs include community service as part of their practice, in keeping with the school's vision of developing leaders who will create a better world. Congratulations to Camden County Tech Schools in Pennsauken.
Central Elementary School. Central Elementary School in East Hanover has invigorated its character education program since it was last certified with a focused, lively approach to its new values: bravery, empathy, leadership, optimism, integrity, and grit. With student involvement as the heart of its initiative, its community-based service learning program has received kudos. Not only do students engage in regular visits to a nearby senior center where they interact with residents, but they also partner with the Seeing Eye Dogs of Morristown to experience ways of supporting and learning about these service animals and their essential role in assisting people with visual impairments. Congratulations, Central Elementary School.
Frank J. Smith School. A pre-K to 1 school in East Hanover makes certain that its little ones receive sound basic training in its core values through an innovative approach captured in the acronym FROGS: friendship, respect, optimism, grit, and success. According to the data, classroom activities and team building exercises focusing on these core values have led to stronger peer relationships, improved academic performance, and increased willingness to share ideas. Another feature contributing to Smith's success: the principal and staff intentionally model the positive behavior they want to see in the children, who enthusiastically strive to imitate them. Congratulations to Frank J. Smith School.
J. Harvey Rogers School. J. Harvey Rogers School, an energetic pre-K through K school, has become a leader in Glassboro's character initiative, collaborating with the district's other 3 schools to form a district-wide character council. The school utilizes many resources to motivate students and staff to observe its PRIDE core values: perseverance, respect, integrity, dependability, and empathy. Working with the Citrus Partnership, it has created a respectful and caring school environment, and Montclair State University has provided pyramid model training for staff. The school's Bulldog Pride program has had a positive impact on discipline and the practice of good character. Congratulations to J. Harvey Rogers School.
Juan Pablo Duarte Jose Marti School number 28. Juan Pablo Duarte School number 28, the first Elizabeth school to be named a National School of Character in 2015, has become a beacon to the district schools, mentoring 12 other schools on their journey to become New Jersey Schools of Character. Despite its many laurels, School 28 refuses to stop growing. To create a greater sense of belonging and encourage leadership and collaboration, it has implemented a house system and refined programs such as the Student Council, Student Ambassadors, New Jersey Honor Society, and ELA Honor Society. Its extraordinary dedicated staff has created a safe haven for those close to 900 students, helping them overcome poverty and language barriers to become successful students and amazing people of character. Congratulations to Juan Pablo Duarte Jose Marte, School number 28. Macapin Middle School, a returning National School of Character, and they were named in 2015 and 2020. Macapin Middle School in West Milford has also garnered their over 15 promising practices, proof of its commitment to building strong, independent students who also are good citizens. Creativity abounds here. Among the school's popular practices are a small group advisory, the Make a Change Club, a fun-filled Veterans Day celebration, a simulated Philadelphia Founders Convention, and team-building exercises to reduce anxiety. It's easy to see why Macapin students readily proclaim our teachers make school fun here. Congratulations to Macapin Middle School.
Marcus W. Newcomb Middle School. Marcus W. Newcomb Middle School in Pemberton, having only 1 year to influence the lives of its 6th grade students, uses that time wisely to create a welcoming culture where students want to come to school, feel safe, and experience a sense of belonging. In an inclusive approach, the principal seeks the views of staff, students, and parents, and shares data with each sector. Time is set aside for teachers to discuss the results of current climate surveys. Parents enjoy coffee and conversation with the principal, and students delight in a similar cocoa and conversation. A close relationship with Pemberton Police has added collaborative activities. Congratulations, Marcus W. Newcomb Middle School.
Mary E. Volz in Runnymede began its character education journey during the 2013-2014 school year and has never wavered from its initial vision and commitment. Through the collaboration of all stakeholders, the chosen core values, respect, effort, attitude, caring, and honesty, captured in the acronym REACH, have guided the school through the pandemic and have resulted in significant gains in student achievement, deportment, and practice of character. With teamwork, conflict management, and SEL as the targeted area of Volz's improvement plan, the school's campaign to join hands against bullying has experienced similar success. Congratulations to Mary E. Volz School.
Memorial Elementary School. Memorial Elementary School, a returning National School of Character 2020 and part of the award-winning Old Bridge Township Schools, always keeps an eye on improvement. With its increased focus on student leadership, engagement, and collaboration, strategies such as Kelso's Choice Lessons, restorative circles, and character buddies have resulted in great strides. At the core of Memorial's character initiative are its helpful families. Not only does the PTA sponsor character theme assemblies such as the Ned Show and Grand Balloons, but also parents contribute to the success of the 3rd grade Heritage Day and the 4th grade Wax Museum. Congratulations, Memorial Elementary School.
Old Bridge High School. Old Bridge High School, although a National School of Character in 2015 and 2020, went back to the drawing board to scrutinize its core values, deciding, after much collaboration, on responsibility, inclusivity, generosity, helpfulness, and trustworthiness. The qualities encapsulated in the school's motto, "Do the right thing." After revitalizing its approach to its students, the school made great inroads in drawing parents into the fold through its family academy nights, sessions on hot topics ranging from safe driving to the college fair provided parents with tools and strategies to reinforce both academics and character building. Congratulations to Old Bridge High School.
Pemberton Township High School. Pemberton Township High School has used the last 4 years as a National School of Character to strengthen its initiatives in novel ways. Collecting data on student behavior outside the classroom helped reinforce the practice of character everywhere. Professional development, enabling teachers to share ideas on incorporating character in subject lessons, increased teacher buy-in. Focus groups on service learning projects assisted staff in determining what works. Student engagement, very evident in events such as the Friday Show, EPIG Challenge Week, Perseverance Challenge, and Green and White Night, is still the fuel that propels the program. Congratulations to Pemberton Township High School.
Scion Elementary School. The mission of Scion Elementary School in Hamilton calls for a collective commitment to develop respectful, kind, and honest problem solvers. To achieve this goal, the school has prioritized relationship building, a book study of teaching with empathy, as well as the resources of Character Strong Pillars of Character and Wayfinders have helped its staff to connect with the school's diversified population. The theme, "We are like a box of crayons, each one of us unique, but when we are together, our school is complete," exemplifies acceptance as a strong element in Scion's school's culture, resulting in significant drop in bullying and pupil conflicts. Congratulations to Scion Elementary School.
Southwood Elementary School. Over the past 5 years, Southwood Elementary School, a twice certified National School of Character in Old Bridge, has made significant strides in enhancing its character initiatives by focusing on peer leadership, service learning, and reflective practices. This more meaningful approach, emphasizing the why behind actions, has energized students and staff. Practices such as the Character and Action Club, Unicorn Box Program, Veterans Day Reflective Letters, Sensory Day, the Inclusion Walk, and Play Unify have positively affected student compassion, social emotional development, and acceptance of others, as well as enhancing school culture. Congratulations, Southwood Elementary School.
Victor Moravlag School number 21. Victor Moravlag School number 21 in Elizabeth, aware that students had to learn how to adjust to school after the losses of the pandemic, used its core values, self-discipline, honesty, respect, empathy, and kindness. The acronym is SHREC, fortified by the Panorama Playbook lessons to help them interact with one another. Improved student achievement and suspension data showed that the school's efforts were successful, prompting it to explore other avenues such as Bullies to Buddies, an anti-bullying theme presentation, and the LEAD program offered by the local police department to address mental health issues, substance abuse, and suicide. Congratulations to Victor Moravlag School number 21.
Walter M. Schirra Elementary School. Walter M. Schirra Elementary School in Old Bridge is quick to transform suggestion into success. When Character.org recertified Schirra in 2020, it advised it to find new ways to include all school members. From this suggestion, Schirra developed many vibrant and inclusive initiatives: Heritage Day Fair, Journey with Me, Sensory Garden, and Play Unified activities. Always eager to share innovative ideas with the online community, the school's outreach efforts have expanded through social media. Their tweets, which showcase character initiatives, student achievements, and community events, have received views ranging from 500 to over 3,500 times. Congratulations to Walter M. Schirra Elementary School.
William A. Miller Elementary School. William A. Miller Elementary School in Old Bridge is always on the move in search of new components to enrich its character building. Second step lessons and colorful emotion charts have added zest to the classroom experience, while seasonal projects such as building and bringing holiday gift baskets to seniors at a local long-term care facility have enhanced service learning. Students at this recertified National School of Character take the lead on fundraising for organizations like the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, American Heart Association, and the Old Bridge Food Bank by creating promotional materials and encouraging peer participation. Congratulations to the William A. Miller Elementary School.
William F. Halloran School 22. William F. Halloran School number 22 in Elizabeth has addressed issues of student belonging and leadership in its continuous quest for improvement. Students now meet in small groups to peer mediate and settle conflicts. In the classroom, panorama surveys guide staff in teaching what is needed, and character strong lessons provide new perspectives. Clearly, compassion for others has replaced indifference. The Husky ambassadors take the lead in making sandwiches for the local homeless shelter. And in the school's new Hope Closet, students collect new and gently used uniforms, toiletries, book bags, and non-perishable foods to share with the neediest families. Congratulations to William F. Halloran District School 22.
This year, we're very proud to announce that we also have 3 districts of character in New Jersey, and we'd like to start with Eastern Christian School Association. Eastern Christian School Association, a National District of Character in 2015 and 2020, has a reputation locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally for molding young people of character who meet the highest standards in academics and community outreach. Students in this pre-K to 12 faith-based institution work with local and global nonprofits such as Touch the World, New Hope Community Ministries, Lighthouse Pregnancy Center, and Star of Hope. All middle schoolers participate in Hands Dirty Day to help the local communities. High school students have the opportunity to take part in service-oriented mission trips and work-study programs. Congratulations to the Eastern Christian School Association District.
Old Bridge Township Public Schools. Old Bridge Township Public Schools, already honored twice as a National District of Character, manages to maintain the vitality and relevance of its character building by rigorous training of staff in the revised 11 principles, establishing a unified framework for all its schools to guarantee consistency and collaboration, encouraging relation building among students, staff, and parents, and providing its schools, all of which have been certified as National Schools of Character, with the necessary resources. Each year, the superintendent's opening convocation, with over 1,000 enthusiastic staff in attendance, launches a district-wide theme that is also observed by the businesses in town, making it a true community-wide celebration of character. Congratulations to my very own Old Bridge Township Public Schools.
Roxbury Public Schools. Character building in Roxbury Public Schools centers on its Portrait of a Graduate, a collaborative vision of the ideal Roxbury graduate based on the input of administration, staff, parents, and students. The portrait embodies 6 core values: emotional intelligence, curious thinking, leadership, citizenship, life ready, adaptability, and resilience. Each school choosing values consonant with portrait and set benchmarks, tailor its own approach. Support for character runs high in Roxbury. 6 of its 7 schools are certified as New Jersey State Schools of Character, and community spirit enlivens the district's SEL Night and Gale Cup challenges. Congratulations to the Roxbury Public Schools. And I'd just like to take a minute to congratulate all of our New Jersey Schools of Character and districts. It was wonderful to have so many this year, and we hope that you will continue your journey and help others to continue their journey too. So thank you.
It has been our pleasure to recognize our wonderful 2025 New Jersey Schools and Districts of Character. Congratulations on your commitment to the 11 Principles of Character and your outstanding efforts for character education. Bill, you're next.
Yeah, actually, I have the opportunity now to recognize our National Schools of Character from New Jersey. These were announced last Thursday, and we are very proud to tell you about those schools. Regrettably, Lori Seufer, who is the National Director of the Schools of Character program, had planned to be with us this morning, but has been called away and could not attend. So I'm going to sit in for her, and I'm going to announce those schools that were announced last week. So, Lori, if you could go to the list. The National Schools of Character for 2025 are Abshua Elementary School in West Milford, Dover Middle School in Dover, Frank J. Smith School in East Hanover, J. Harvey Rogers School in Glassboro, Juan Pablo Duarte, Jose Julian Marti School 28 in Elizabeth, Macapan Middle School in West Milford, Marcus Newcomb Middle School in Pemberton, Memorial Elementary School in Old Bridge, Old Bridge High School in Old Bridge, Pemberton Township High School in Pemberton, Sayin Elementary School in Hamilton, Southwood Elementary School in Old Bridge, Valley View Middle School in Denville, Walter M. Shura Elementary School in Old Bridge, William A. Miller Elementary School in Old Bridge, and William F. Halloran School 22 in Elizabeth. In addition, our 3 state schools of character have also been named national districts of character. By the way, the only 3 national districts of character in the country for this year: Eastern Christian School Association in North Haledon, Old Bridge Township Public Schools in Old Bridge, and Roxbury Public Schools in Roxbury. We are very, very proud of all of our schools, all of the national schools, all of the state schools, all of the honorable mention schools, and all of the emerging schools. We know this work is something that is a continuous journey and a continuous development process. So anyone on any of these lists, has done significant work to bring these qualities into the school. And we all know from experience that doing this work in a school is beneficial to everybody. It's not just to the school itself, but to the students, to the teachers, to the administration, to the staff, to the parents, and to the community at large. And we know, and you can see in our listing today, that we have communities where every school has done this work, and it really has shaped the way education happens in those communities, and we're so proud of that. And we congratulate the districts of character in particular, but all of the schools and all of those districts who do that work in every school in the district. And one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit later is the importance of outreach. And that outreach is what causes this to happen. Being on this journey, honestly, is something that is, as Tom said, it's a calling. And the fact that all of you have taken up that calling is really, really significant. So if we could move on, Lori, to our business meeting, I believe, is next. Part of our bylaws requires us to hold a business meeting, and generally it would be at our conference, but since this is replacing our conference, we are going to take just a couple of minutes now to conduct the business of the organization. The business of the organization really happens through our leaders, our executive board, and our members at large, as well as our committee people. And one of the things that we have to do every year is to elect those people for 2025, 2026. And as is our custom, our immediate past president, who was Dr. Phil Brown, our founder, does run that election for us. And I'd like to turn it over to Phil right now to do that. So Phil, you can certainly make some remarks as well, and then conduct the election of officers.
Thank you, Bill. It's an honor to do this every year. And I should take a moment to begin by telling you that for many of you, the history of the organization is in the far distant past. Well, when I mistakenly thought I was retiring and had to find a suitable person to take over as president, and asked Bill Tresheim, knowing his capacity and devotion to this field and his skills in leadership, I was at a meeting and before it was announced, and I was in lunch line next to Maurice Elias, and I said, Maurice, I know you know Bill Tresheim, and what do you think? I've asked him to serve as president of the organization, and I think he's going to accept. And Maurice said, well, that's a very wise choice. And as Maurice's one, he made me feel good. At the same time, he was really saying, this is somebody who can really provide leadership to the organization. And when Bill accepted, I don't think he knew that he was still going to be doing this these many years later, but he's managed to lead the organization through both some trials as well as the real honor we have in having provided leadership to the national organization character.org over these years, and the group that has served as as board members in that time has also contributed nationally to the whole process that the country uses and the national organization uses to evaluate and accept the schools as national schools of character. So it's really a national context that we have today, as well as a state context that we embrace in looking at the work we've done over the course of these many years to get us to the point where we're at today. And the process of conducting the business meetings is really fairly simple. Those of you who are here today are, by virtue of your participation, members of the New Jersey Alliance for Social Emotional Character Development, and therefore are privileged to be able to consider and vote for our slate of candidates. So first, I need to ask if there are any nominations for positions that anyone would like to submit. And hearing none, I want to have you look at the board selections for this coming year. And what I'm very happy to say is that this is the executive board and the members at large that we've been working with this past year. And I really believe that this is one of the strongest boards we've ever had. And so it's really a testament to everyone's commitment. And especially I want to recognize Lori and Mary for their leadership in the Schools of Character program. It's not all that we do, but it's the focus of most of our work. And you don't have any idea the amount of time and effort it takes for them to successfully organize and recruit evaluators and so forth. So a special kudos to you two as well. But everyone on this list has contributed in their own unique way to making this organization a success. And hearing no further nominations, I would like to ask us to, by acclamation, everyone can raise their hands, even if we can't see on the screen. I trust that your hands are raised in acclamation that this slate of the executive board and members at large will serve our organization for the next year. And I think we have successfully conducted our election of officers for the next year, and want to turn it over back to our re-elected president, Bill Trusheim, who I have to tell you is really successful by the virtue of the fact that he works harder than anybody else in the organization to keep us afloat. And Bill, it's always good to have you once again agree to serve in this capacity. And as you know, as long as you're there, I cannot remove myself from participating as well, because I'm the immediate past president.
Well, I guess maybe that's kind of a Machiavellian thing on my part, because you mean so much to this organization, Phil, that I can't imagine that we would get by without you. So maybe it's good work, and Tom talked about purpose. This is that slate of officers that was just elected. This is purpose for all of us. And, that's making sure that we stay afloat, that we continue to do good work, that we continue to benefit schools and everyone associated with them is why we do it. And again, I'd like to thank our officers for their service last year and for their willingness to continue to serve. I did ask them to do that, and everyone said yes immediately. And I do agree with Phil. This is one of the strongest boards that we've ever had. And I appreciate everybody's contributions. Not to belittle the contributions of people whose names you didn't see on the screen today. There are actually listings of our volunteers in the recognition booklet that will be accessible following this. And thanks to all of them, because we have a very large volunteer force, as you'll see, and everybody does it not for any kind of compensation, because everyone's volunteer. And they do it because it's good work. And doing good work is important today. And we need more people to do good work. So with that said, without preempting what Mary and Lori are going to talk to you about outreach, I invite you to volunteer to help us out to do good work. So over to Mary and Lori to talk about how you can outreach now that you've achieved some recognition. The journey's not over. So find out about what you can do. Mary and Lori.
On behalf of NJASECD and the New Jersey Schools of Character coordinators, Mary and I like to thank you for joining us today to applaud the work of these outstanding schools. No matter where you are in your character education journey, we are thrilled to recognize your dedication and exceptional efforts. Maintaining a high level of character education is challenging. Congratulations to all of you for supporting this work for our children. Moving forward, we suggest you document everything you do over the next 5 years. So when you're ready to recertify, you have all of the information at hand. Reach out to other schools in your district or your neighboring towns and invite them in to share events at your school. You are always welcome to reach out to us. We are glad to support your efforts in character education. Mary, you have anything you want to add? You're
Mary, you're
muted.
muted.
Mary, you're muted, honey.
Okay, is that better?
Much better. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. So I invite you to join the evaluation team for New Jersey. Every year we get some new evaluators, and that's always wonderful because the more hands, the less work. So please consider joining the evaluation team for next year. And I just wish you all the best with your character journey and encourage you to continue and to, like Lori said, reach out to others. That outreach is the most important thing to helping all of our schools become schools of character. Thank you.
Okay, next I'd like to invite Cindy Dacey and Carol Lawrence to unmute and share some thoughts about our regional networking centers. That's one of the ways that we have tried to address the needs across the state. So Cindy and Carol, it's over to you.
Thank you, Bill. Congratulations again to all of the New Jersey State Schools of Character and the National Schools of Character and those beginning their journey. This is like our little public broadcast announcement. Carol and I wanted to take a minute to share an opportunity for schools to network in their regions. We have 3 regions in the state of New Jersey with regional contacts, and they are the Northern region with Doug Steck as the contact, Central region is Lori Coletti as the contact, and the Southern region is Mona Noyes as the contact. This upcoming year, the regionals areas will hold work sessions to assist schools with the New Jersey School of Character and the Promising Practice applications. Exact dates will be determined, but the tentative schedule is this. In October, there will be work sessions for the Schools of Character applications to answer any questions you may have or concerns you may have. In January, work sessions for the Promising Practice application, identifying activities in your schools that qualify and organizing that information and relating it to the 11 principles is scheduled. And in March, we're going to set aside time for SEL Day events to organize and hold an event at your school or in your region. Carol.
Thank you. Once again, congratulations to all the schools that are here today. As Bill said, you're on a journey, but now you want to consider some sustainability. So we're encouraging you to join one of the networking centers, whether you're a beginner, emerging school, honorable mention, or already state or national school of character, because you will be able to connect with others, to learn, to collaborate, to mentor, which is what we need a lot of. We know there's so many activities and programs being held in our schools to promote character development. but we need to spread the word about the networking centers as a way to unite and grow together. So schools exchanging their ideas and supporting one another are great ways to build our character programs within our own schools, our own regions, and we need to strengthen character education across New Jersey. So if you know any schools in your district who may be interested in getting started or enhancing their program or giving assistance, there's a spot for everyone. Have them reach out to one of the networking center contacts, and we look forward to growing goodness together. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol and Cindy. That message is important, and same with Mary and Lori. The success of our organization really comes from our volunteers, and we're all volunteers. And we certainly invite any and all of you to join us in a greater role in an NJASECD. We have plenty of things that can be done. Again, Mary talked about being a scorer or a site evaluator. Lori talked about mentoring other schools in your district or in your region. Same as participating in the regional networking centers is also important. So there's lots of ways to volunteer. One of the things that I think that we want to reemphasize is that you can contact NJASECD, and if we do have an email address. It's pretty easy to remember. It's njasecd@gmail.com. And if you're interested, you can simply send us an email, and we will get in touch with you and share some ways in which you can participate. And the least of which would be coming to board meetings. Those board meetings are primarily virtual, and they're every other month. We do have some special meetings for various committees, and the work that we do, I think, makes a difference. I know it makes a difference, and I think that that my colleagues here from NJASECD would agree with that totally, which is why we do the work. Again, it has to do with a calling, it has to do with purpose, and that's really where we all come from in doing this work. If you'll remember, way back an hour and a half ago, you saw a slide at the beginning of the presentation that had a bunch of QR codes on it. I just want to reemphasize the fact that we're going to be sharing those QR codes on our website along with the recording of today's ceremony. So you'll be able to look back on it if you'd like to share it with others at your school. If you'd like to listen to Tom's TED Talk again, I certainly plan to do that myself. Whether or not I could replicate that rap is a whole nother story. But I think there's a lot to be gained from checking that out. That is on our website. Our website's pretty easy too. It's njasecd.org. And so you can find us pretty easily, and that information will be there within the week. So we hope that you will check back in with us. We hope that you will continue your character journey, and in that continuation, that you'll consider volunteering for NJASECD. I really do appreciate all of our participants today. From Tom to Karen to Steve to Kelly to everybody, Lori and Mary, who do a wonderful job coordinating our programs. To everybody who was involved today, to Phil, to Maurice, to everybody who supports our group. And we do hope that you will continue your journey. And I'd just like to hope that this celebration was, well, it wasn't adequate because it would have been nice to do it face to face. But I hope that it was enough to know how much appreciation we feel for the work that you do in your schools. And we know that appreciation is shared by everyone there, because, again, it's good work and it's good for everybody. So thank you for being here today. And I wish you all the best as you continue your character journey. So have a wonderful rest of the day. And thanks for being part of our ceremony today. Thank you for attending.